This is a bit of a mixed bag. I've seen some people who seem to like this. I did not. This is my review of Murder Mystery 2. I'm a blind film critic, so I watched this on Netflix with audio description. And I have to say right off the bat, I don't think that I have any problems with the audio description. I think Liz Gutman wrote really nice audio description for this film, especially considering the wide cast and how a lot of the cast sometimes are just described without names. They just kind of float in. It's one of the problems that I have maybe with the script, is that it becomes a little bit hard to follow that way. I was trying to pick up on people's voices because I know there are a lot of cameos in this film. I looked up on IMDb later on. I was like, oh my god. One character, I IMDb'd the film afterward, and I was right about some of the voices, for sure. Like, Mark Strong is in this. I knew that. I was like, this is Mark Strong, for sure. I did not pick up on Melanie Laurent, and I'm disappointed that she's now in Adam Sandler movies because she's such a phenomenal actress, but at the same time, that's the fault of the Academy for not giving her an Oscar nomination for Inglourious Basterds. Her career never really took off. She tried to come back around later with Beginners, but then again, the focus on that film was so on Christopher Plummer that, once again, she did not get in the conversation. So she's an actress that is fantastic and delivers great performances, but unfortunately just never quite gets the recognition. So her name recognition is not, I mean, you have to be a fan of Melanie Laurent to know who she is and why she's in these films. But I was really surprised. So I give like a casting bonus to this film of thank you for giving her work. Thank you for continuing to propel her forward and remind Hollywood that she's out there. She's good in this. As most of the comedians are in this. Honestly, my problem with the film is that it seems like it's grasping at straws to even exist. Like, the first film was this former cop and his wife get kind of caught up in this murder mystery. You know, this somebody dies and the more people die and they're trying to solve it, but they're also in it themselves. And the second film is not actually a murder mystery. It's a kidnapping mystery. And meanwhile, since the first film happened and they take all the credit for the results of the first film, they've now opened their own like investigation firm. I don't even know what to call it. It's because she's still pushing him to take his detective tests or whatever, when he's like, I'm a former cop, I don't need that shit. It's like, okay. And yeah, they kind of have that back and forth, and then all of a sudden they get invited to this lavish wedding, and at this lavish wedding their friend who invited them ends up getting kidnapped, and that's the movie. It's not really a spoiler. That's the catalyst. That's the whole reason for the movie. And then from there on, they're trying to figure out who kidnapped him and whether or not they can get him back safely. And then a ton of cameos happen, just like cameo after cameo after cameo, just people popping in, popping out. Some of them pretty big, recognizable cameos in here. Some of them are just comedic stalwarts who you've seen in a lot of these films, like Jillian Bell's in this. But then you've got like Tony Goldwyn. So I didn't know that I was going to see Tony Goldwyn in this. So there you go. It just didn't work for me the second time around. The second time doesn't have the same magic. It's not the same film. It's not trying to be the same film. This doesn't, it's not Glass Onion to me, where like we transported and sort of had a little bit of a different plot and it just ended up working out again. I don't think the script is very strong. I think Sandler and Aniston, often their dialogue just feels unscripted, and it just feels like two people talking on top of each other, which I guess is what it's supposed to feel like, but it feels like everybody else is scripted. It feels like everybody else is a character, but it feels like for some reason we've created this like reality project where we took two real people and put them in a film and asked them to solve a murder mystery. That's what it feels like, because it doesn't always feel like they're acting. It feels like they're stumbling through dialogue and not really committed. This Adam Sandler's been a lot more committed to things before. I don't know. I just didn't feel it from him in this film. He just feels tired. Jennifer Aniston just feels like she's here, and I don't know. There's no magic. There's just like give me paycheck, give me that paycheck, and I didn't like it. Was it void of any laughs? No. I mean, there are some laughs here. Some of the supporting cast that come in and out, they're funny. Mark Strong can be funny. So Adam Sandler, Jennifer Aniston do land some of their stuff. So, I like Adam Sandler. I like Adam Sandler movies. I root for him. I totally see a path where he could very likely get an Oscar nomination one day, which really kind of blows my mind that he would get an Oscar nomination before Jim Carrey. But I think it's possible. He's got another project with the Safdie brothers. They just announced. So, he almost got it with Uncut Gems. He got a SAG nomination for Hustle. I feel like an Oscar nomination is somewhat inevitable at this point. But it just didn't work. I don't know how else to say it. I just was kind of disappointed. It's kind of bored. It's only 90 minutes, and it felt exhausting. It felt way longer than it needed to be. It felt like they took something that was really small and stretched it into 90 minutes. It felt like this was like an episode of Murderville that suddenly became 90 minutes long. I really just really wanted more from this. I expected more from this. I really wanted it to do what Knives Out to Glass Onion did, which was find a way to keep the magic of the original, which was pretty good. It's not my favorite Adam Sandler movie, but I would stand up for murder mystery to some extent, and at least keep that, and maybe even make it a little bit better. I actually like Glass Onion more than Knives Out. So this doesn't do that. This goes the other way with it. And if anything, just kind of makes you go, well, this didn't deserve to be a franchise. They'll probably make a 3, though. This is probably going to break some Netflix records, and we'll get a 3rd film. I just don't know that we need it. I wish I could say more, but I don't really feel like it. So I'm just kind of very disappointed with the film. It's not really funny. I felt like I was in the film forever. I felt like it was never going to end. It just felt like I was trapped in this film. And yeah, I actually thought about dipping out of the film, but I wanted to stay till the end because I heard there was a big cameo. The cameo is not worth it. It's not. If you feel like dipping out, look it up later online. It's just it's not worth it. So that's it. That's all I got. Audio description's fine though. I mean, it's as fine as it can be for a film where a lot of the characters don't have names and they're just descriptions. So that's how they're written. You can't give somebody a name that doesn't have a name. I looked up their IMDb credits, and yeah, a lot of those characters don't have names. So, some people are just listed as, like, the Silver Fox, and it's like, okay. Whatever. So, I would maybe skip this one. I'm going to give Murder Mystery 2 a C-. Definitely not the worst Adam Sandler movie. There are definitely Adam Sandler movies I would rank below this, especially Netflix movies. Hubie Halloween is awful, just unwatchably awful, in my opinion. So at least they made a sequel to Murder Mystery and not that, because I wouldn't even touch Hubie Halloween 2. I would not. Nope. But thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. If you're not a subscriber, think about subscribing. And so I can keep talking about crappy films that have audio description. I didn't know it was going to be crappy. I legitimately was like, oh, Murder Mystery 2. Oh, this will be fun. I was like, whatever. I also have a website, NightMovieGuy.com. You can go to the audio description project, adp.acb.org. It'll let you know what has audio description and where you can watch it. You can go to the ADNA.org. That's the ADNA.org. It'll let you know who's describing your favorite films and television series. And you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at MacTheMovieGuy. I will review something else for you guys and see you on the other side.